Hi everyone, doing this video rather late, but it's been a good day. In fact, I feel even better than a dog with two tails. It's been a very good day. As you can see, a new telephone arrived. This one I'd been waiting for a long time, and I thought it might have gone astray. But no, it arrived, and it arrived in style. The box was actually, it was double boxed, and the packing, you couldn't have done it better. I've got loads of papers to read from the States where this phone came. Well, I tell a lie there, it didn't come. The phone that I've just received, the sender was in America. Yeah, very good seller. I would hope to deal again with her. I'm assuming it's a her, it might be him. Either, many thanks go to them, because I was so impressed with this phone. Goes back a few years. I better tell you what model it is. It's automatic electric 40. And these, I believe, started life 1938. This particular model was in fact built in Canada from the company called Eugene Phillips Electrical Works, and they were located in Brockville, Ontario. The Phillips name, by the way, is no connection with Phillips of Holland. It just happens to be the same name. But nevertheless, there's quite a lot of history about this. And for further information, it would take me all night to give it, if I was to, not translate it, but give it from Google. Look up Google AE Canada. And now also they list an entry by the Classic Rotary Phones Forum with a history. It makes it interesting. As you can probably tell, I am very happy. Let me show you the back. Be careful, it's wires connected through to the back. Here's what we have on the base. The name there, monophone. No mention about the actual model number, so I don't know why that is, but it's definitely an AE40, which would normally, or the other ones were made in the States. There's your label there with the printing, with the Phillips name. And it's Brockville, Ontario. Funny enough, particularly interested in this phone because I am half Canadian. My mother was Canadian. She was born in Vancouver, which I believe is the other side of Canada, an island, Vancouver Island. Never been to Vancouver, but I have been to Ontario and Toronto many years ago. Well, there's your base. It's held on by two screws. There's one of the screws. You can see it's well used, all ages. It's a little bit rusty. But there again, after the age of this, you'd expect to see a bit of rust. Let me put this back, if I can, on its side. I'm very pleased with this. There's your ringer. Now, I've worked this phone so it doesn't use the ringer. I don't need to connect that one up with a ringer. And if I did, it probably wouldn't work. Because let's have a little look at the diagram. Yep, there's a diagram there as well. I can make it sit back there. I don't know if I can. Hold on. I'm going to have to hold it. There's your diagram, which is stuck into on the base. It says ringer frequency. Now, frequencies were used on the American and Canadian party lines, and it says their frequency Y. Yeah, frequency Y. So obviously different frequencies allowed the bell to ring, so that whoever was calling a particular party, remember they used one pair of wires to all the party subscribers, and depending on the type of ringing or the frequency, which party's phone actually rings. So it looks like this phone was on party ringing, which is not a problem, because as I say, see if we can see at the back there, I haven't used the bell on this one. There's the label. Unfortunately, there's no indication of the age, but there is a little sticker also on there. Put it around the right way so you can see it. There's a date there, and it looks like that date says 58. So when was that, when the phone was made, or was it when it was renovated? The label on the ringer coil condenser, using the old name which you'd expect, not a capacitor, condenser. So many microfarads. It just says use microfarad condenser, so there's the condenser at the side there, or the capacitor. And obviously you can see the connections. They're not soldered, they're good old screw terminals which you'd get on the older variety of phones. Your two bells there, they're nicely adjusted. And notice a bias spring. That is the bias spring. You'd obviously adjust it, presumably by bending that tag either way to reduce the tension or increase it. So that is for the bell. In fact, I think the phone I put up last, which was also another automatic electric phone, and that had a bias spring as well. But this, as I say, is quite a large bell. It virtually takes all of the base plate. There was, which is no longer there now, the base would go under there, so that would act as a little rubber feet, if you like, which went round the hole. But unfortunately, through to old age, it is completely perished. But not to worry, I can manage without that. I shall probably put 4 little feet, stick-on feet, on the base, so it just lifts it up. So okay, expect certain things to be wrong, or not be wrong. It's just through age. We all get old. I know, I'm blooming old. Also, the handset, which is exactly the correct one for this model, has been painted at some time, you can tell. American phone makers, or Canadian phone makers if you like, often did in fact factory paint their phones, and it certainly looks like this handset has been repainted. It's got a lovely shine on it. So that's what they used to do with their phones. You got it on the 500 sets are often, but not often, but I have come across where the handset has been repainted. Repainted very well, by the way, as this one is. I haven't taken the inserts out. Looking further in, I replaced the line cord. The old line cord was once again perished. It had it's made of sort of rubbery substance, and it was cracking and breaking. So I done away with the old line cord. It was crumbled in places, and replaced it with a modern cord. I say a modern cord. It has the modern end, which is the typical American type. Replacing, and another added bonus, on the end of the old cord, which you can see the end of it there is where I've cut it off. You have the old American type of plug, but also the socket which it goes into. To get that as well is, well, very rare. Whoever took this out, if it had obviously been taken out, they'd done it with care. The wire terminators are there. It's in very, very good nick. There are 4 prongs. You often come across these on the American phones, but that's going back a few years. Now this make of phone wasn't normally provided by the Bell system, Northern Telecom or Western Electric. This was an independent one that supplied non-Bell installations. So obviously they're not quite as common as you would normally find. Yeah, the wires, I clipped it in carefully. Fortunately, the wire, I don't know where it came from, it's one I had upstairs, was normal wire. It wasn't that horrible Litz wire. So terminations under those 2 screws was quite easy. I've left the ringing screw free because I'm not using that. There's your cradle contacts, which I can try and use it. As you press those, you put the handset on. Very well made, very strong. Your anti-side tone coil, quite a big one. Let's turn that off. Being old, as I say, that's probably what the word. It's a Bakelite case, and in very, very good nick. Now, what is interesting, and what sold it for me, we look at that dial. That is not an automatic electric dial. This is the dial made by Siemens Brothers in England. Siemens Brothers of Woolwich, London. And it's known as a slipping cam dial. I've got an example of one of these upstairs, but I thought that this one will suffice. These were fitted to several makers of phones. I remember them on a wall phone I've got which is also by Siemens. So it's called a slipping cam. Turn him over, I'll show you another interesting thing. I don't want to damage that wiring. There's the dial, what you'd normally see, and it's obviously the North American type of lettering. You've got operator there. And if you look carefully on the finger stop, you should see, if it focuses, I don't know if it's going to focus. I can't always get this camera to focus. It was at a funny angle. I apologise. Though you might see it there. It's got the name Siemens Brothers, with I believe a date. And they were the dials that were used in Canada on these phones. The reason being, Canada in the past imported a lot of British made equipment, and to make it work they thought they had to use the English type dials. So it's British equipment with English dials. And look at that, the dial itself, you'll notice, if I can point it out, a spacer. So you've got the dial and a Bakelite spacer. Looking at the other side, how the spacer fits in there. And the reason for the spacer is so that you can fit the English type of dial, and then it fits into the normal fitting for an automatic electric dial. That, believe it or not, I think is it. Yes, I'm very pleased. I've sent feedback thanking the person very great and saying, have a look at it. I'm going to put it up on YouTube tomorrow, which it'll go possibly tomorrow. It might even go tonight. But there is the phone. I'm very pleased. This will take place of honour on one of the areas in the living room where the phones are. I didn't need it to ring the bell, so I'm okay. I got away with that. If I did, it still wouldn't have worked. But that's not a problem. Everything's good about this. So once again, thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm a bit enthusiastic with this. Normally I wouldn't do videos this late at night, but I have today, a special occasion. And yeah, I got this working. Well, I haven't got it working, it was working. Just changing the old line cable. Recapping, the company Eugene F. Phillips Electrical Works, Brockville, Ontario. It's an AE40 utilising a dial made in England or made in London by Siemens Brothers, called a slipping cam type of dial. More information, if you Google automatic electric Canada on Google, you get lots of information about this. And yeah, it started 1938. I wasn't even thought of then. So it was a few years ago. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Any comments please make. I will put a thumbnail photo out, which you'll get first on there. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you.